Welcome back to the channel, everybody, or welcome if this is your first time joining the channel. I finally have my voice somewhat back after I had that kind of cold, congestion stuff going on. I was busy all this weekend. I did get one kind of DCU video up just talking about the sale of Warner Brothers and just my thoughts on it. I didn't share any screen grabs or anything or any articles. It was just kind of a ramble, just my opinions. That was all I got done this weekend. It was busy. We had a Halloween party Saturday, and then we had some stuff going on with church on Sunday, so I didn't really get any videos made, but we're back today, and we've got some stuff to talk about. Three main topics, really. First thing we're going to talk about is Supergirl reshoots. We're going to delve into that. Second thing we're going to talk about is the Superman is being nominated for Oscars. And the third thing we're going to talk about is Zack Snyder shared another picture. And if my hat's not a tease, we'll get to that. But stay tuned for that. So we're going to hop right in here. We're going to go over this article. We're going to talk about these Supergirl reshoots. I'm going to go through this article. I haven't read it yet, so we'll go through it, and then I'll give my thoughts on it. I haven't read any of these articles yet. I've seen the headlines. I have my own thoughts, but we're going to go through the articles, and then I'll give you my thoughts. So, this is coming from comicbookmovie.com. This says, Supergirl rumored to be undergoing 2 weeks of reshoots, possibly to add scenes with spoiler. The spoiler is David Cornsweet Superman. His name is a mouthful. All right, let's see. According to a new rumor, DC Studios' Supergirl is currently undergoing 2 weeks of additional photography, possibly to include scenes with a certain other superpowered hero. Supergirl wrapped principal photography back in May, but as is generally the case with any major studio comic book movie, reshoots were scheduled shortly after. Okay, it's not generally the case with any major studio comic book movie. It's been the case lately because the directors that are directing these movies lack vision and can't finish it when they have their shooting dates. And then they have to go back because the test screens don't perform well, and then they have to reshoot these scenes. According to scooper Daniel Rickman, cameras are currently rolling again for what will amount to 2 weeks of additional photography, and he believes this will mainly be to include scenes with David Cornsweet Superman. This could explain why the Superman costume that was on display at the Warner Brothers Studio Tours exhibit was removed and replaced with a note reading, Superman costume currently being used by production. There was speculation that it might have something to do with Man of Tomorrow, but James Gunn's next DCU movie is still only in the very early stages of development. And I'm going to show you guys something here real quick. So the Superman suit was on exhibit at the Warner Brothers lot. And as you can see here in this picture, it says, Superman costume currently being used by production. Okay, you mean to tell me you only have one Superman suit for your movie? You're that broke that you can't make another suit? Any other superhero movie, there's numerous suits and several suits made just in case something happens behind the scenes. It gets ripped, something happens to it, it gets damaged. There's other suits. They have other suits for different scenes, like the battle damage suit. There'd be a different suit for that. There'd be a clean version suit. You mean to tell me they only have one suit for this movie because they're too broke to make another one? Make another suit. That suit could not have cost that much to make. That suit's a cosplay suit. It couldn't have been that expensive. I get it if it was $1 million suit, but that suit couldn't have been no $1 million suit. I don't understand that at all. One suit, really? Wow. According to a recent report from THR, Supergirl had a quiet screening on the Burbank lot with a select group of executives and a few members of James Gunn's trusted DC stable. Yep, all his homies. The trade didn't reveal any details, but a couple of reliable scoopers have claimed to have heard great things about the movie, and we wouldn't be surprised if some first reactions begin to filter through over the next couple of weeks. In a recent interview, writer Anna Nagoria spoke about what attracted her to this rougher and grittier and edgier and funnier take on the character. Of course, we got to have that funny in there. We can't just do rougher, grittier, and edgier. She watched Krypton completely be destroyed. I was always like, I can't get my head around the version of the character that is so sunny. Millie Alcock will reprise her role as Kara Zor-El after making her DCU debut in the closing moments of Superman. So that's basically all the article talks about with these reshoots. So again, the last thing I want to talk about with this is it says that the scoopers have claimed to have heard great things about the movie. So if there's great things coming out about the movie, why are you doing reshoots? That makes no sense. If it's great, leave it alone. Release your product as it is. That's the issue with these comic book movies and these writers and directors that are in charge right now. They can't commit to what they're doing. They have to do all these screen tests, just like Superman. Superman had all these screen tests. Okay, didn't perform well at the screen test. So, we have to hurry up. We got to do reshoots. We got to change all this up. Then we got to do more reshoots. Then we're doing reshoots on reshoots on reshoots because they don't know what the audience wants. If they'd get big directors in there, Christopher Nolan, a Matt Reeves, a Zack Snyder, those guys don't do reshoots because they already know how their story ends. They have their story wrote, they have their vision, and they carry it out on the shooting dates. They don't need to go back for reshoots and change everything up and do things different. That's why Superman was a cobbled up mess, because they did all these reshoots and they just put all this stuff in there. So I don't know why they're doing reshoots with Supergirl. The only thing that tells me is that James Gunn is nervous about the DCU. He's nervous if he's going to have a job. So he's trying to come back and do these reshoots. And the rougher, grittier, edgier take, okay, I'm fine with that. But why we got to make everything funny? Why's everything got to be funny? Leave the humor out of it and just make a movie. It doesn't all have to be funny. That was the problem with Superman. It was too funny. But I digress. James Gunn isn't going to be there much longer anyway, so I think he's just trying to push through to get whatever he wants to do done. Let's move on to our next thing. And this, I laughed. I laughed at this when I saw the headline for this. Laughed. Boy. They are nominating Superman, James Gunn's Superman, for Oscars. This comes from Screen Rant. This says, James Gunn's Superman strives to set Oscars history for first time since 1979. Superman may have finished its theatrical run, but the DC Universe installment is now getting ready for the award season. While the DCU's Chapter 1 Gods and Monsters slate has more films and TV shows on the way, that slate is all gone. All they're doing right now is a Superman saga. They're not doing this Gods and Monsters anymore. They've abandoned it. DC Studios is looking to push James Gunn's 2025 entry with David Corenswet in the award season. As the FYC circle is starting up, Warner Bros. Discovery and DC Studios are submitting several of their 2025 movies for the Oscars, including the Superman reboot. The summer blockbuster has been submitted for a total of 16 categories, including Best Picture. If nominated, Gunn's movie would be the first time since 1979 that a film based on the DC icon has landed Academy Award nominations. The additional categories that they have submitted the film for also include Best Director and Best Adapted Screenplay for Gunn. Several members of the Superman cast have also been submitted for various acting categories, including Cornsweet, Rachel Brosnahan, and Nicholas Hoult. Let's go through these categories. Best Picture. James Gunn and Peter Safran. No. Best Director. James Gunn. No. Best Adapted Screenplay. James Gunn. No. Best Actor. David Cornsweet. No. Best Supporting Actress. Rachel Brosnahan and Isabella Merced. Rachel Brosnahan, possibly. Isabella Merced, no. Best Supporting Actor. Nicholas Hoult. Eddie Gathegi. Anthony Cardigan. Nathan Fillion. No. Best Casting. John Papsidera. No. Best Cinematography. Henry Brom. Absolutely not. Best Film Editing. William Hoy and Craig Albert. No. Best Production Design. Bev Mickle and Rosemary Brandenburg for production designer and set decorator. No. Best Costume Design. Judianna Makovsky. Are you kidding me? That must be for that one costume they made. Best Makeup and Hairstyling. Alexei Dimitriou, Peter Swartz King, and Shane Mahan. Maybe. Best Sound. Lee Orloff, David Accord, Katie Wood, Chris Boyles, Tim LeBlanc. Nah. Best Visual Effects. Stephanie Serrati, Enrico Dam, Stephanie Nays, Guy Williams. This Is How Superman Flew. No. Best Original Score. John Murphy and David Fleming. It wasn't an original score, so no. Best Original Song. The Mighty Crabjoys theme. Written by James Gunn. No. I don't get this at all. I don't know. This, again, to me, this is just Warner Brothers and James Gunn. This is James Gunn narcissism on full showcase here. He knows he's on his way out. He's trying to get whatever he can before he's out. So he's trying to get nominated for all these Oscars and make it out like he actually did something. Superman movie didn't even make money. It was a flop. It lost money. This is a joke. This is a joke right here. This is funny. I thought this must be satire here. Ain't no way this is not going to win any of those categories. Definitely not Best Costume. It's a cosplay costume. I got that costume just because it's a cosplay costume. Alright, let's move on. The main article for today that we're going to get into is Zack Snyder shared another behind-the-scenes picture of Ben Affleck as Batman this weekend. And I believe this was the costume test fitting. This is coming from Cosmic Book News. It says Zack Snyder shares never-before-seen Ben Affleck Batman photo. Everything I hoped it would be. Zack Snyder continues to light up social media with new DC posts, this time sharing a never-before-seen black and white photo of Ben Affleck as Batman from the original costume test. Snyder posted the image to Instagram, writing, "A black and white 4x5 Polaroid I took of Ben during the costume test. First time in the suit. Everything I hoped it would be." The photo, which features Affleck in the full Batsuit for the first time, quickly racked up tens of thousands of likes, including from Gal Gadot, who played Wonder Woman in Snyder's DC films. And here is this picture. This again is another great shot. I myself prefer the first shot that they released of him standing by the Batmobile. I love that shot. This shot, again, it doesn't look... the cowl looks a little different than what we actually got in the movie. But, I mean, I do like this shot. I like the bat. I like the suit. This is my favorite bat suit. This suit and then Robert Pattinson's and then Christian Bale's. This was my favorite suit. It was the most comic accurate. Just the gray and the black, and the way that it just looked on screen just fit the character and fit Ben Affleck's Batman so good. Let's see what this goes on to say. The photo has already been liked over 70,000 times, with fans celebrating Snyder's continued tributes to his DC era. Many called it one of the most iconic Batman shots ever captured. A raw, moody image perfectly matching Snyder's cinematic tone. And that it does. The black and white Polaroid shows Affleck in his early Batman vs. Superman suit, standing in a dimly lit set, photographed with Snyder's signature visual style. Part of Snyder's ongoing Leica series. This new Batman post follows Snyder's recent string of DC-related photos, including Henry Cavill as Superman, Joe Manganiello as Deathstroke, and Ben Affleck's Nightmare Batman, all shot with Snyder's Leica monochrome camera. Each new post has reignited fans' hopes for a Snyderverse revival, especially with rumors of Warner Brothers Discovery being sold and Paramount Skydance emerging as a top buyer. Gal Gadot joins the fun. Fans also noticed Gal Gadot liked Snyder's post, prompting speculation about whether she might return as Wonder Woman under a potential new regime. Gadot has previously expressed interest in working with Snyder again, and her public show of support didn't go unnoticed by fans who continue to push for the restoration of the Snyderverse. So, there you have it. Zack posted another picture this weekend. It's funny because just these pictures that Zack Snyder is posting is garnering more engagement and more likes than anything that the DCU and James Gunn is doing right now. And that's why my theory is that's why they're pushing Superman for the Oscars. That's why they're doing reshoots of Supergirl, because they're nervous and they're scared. James wants to get everything he's done pushed out before somebody buys them out and he's sent packing. That's my thoughts on it. Let me know in the comments what you think of all this news, what you think of the Supergirl reshoots, what you think of Superman being nominated for the Oscars, what you think of this new Ben Affleck picture that Zack Snyder shared. Let me know in the comments. If you haven't yet, please like, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any more DCU videos that I have coming out. With that being said, you can check out other DC content that I have here. Hope everybody has a great week. God bless. Thanks for watching. We'll see you all on the next video.